Animal Equality is a group heavily promoted by animal charity Evaluators and is currently one of its top charities. Shark has previously exposed animal charity Evaluators for having ethical conflicts with groups it promotes, and you can see those videos in the description section. We decided to take a closer look at Animal Equality, and what we found is disturbing. Animal Equality has engaged in a high level of deception and exaggeration regarding its efforts. In a podcast dated November 13th, 2017, Animal Equality co-founders Sharon Nunes-Gao and Jose Vaya were interviewed by a group called 80,000 Hours. We will present to you just some of the examples we found of how they mislead the public about their work. In this clip, you will hear how Animal Equality inflated the number of campaigns it had in the first half of 2017.
We've presented 39 investigations, and the reason why there's 39 versus 13 is the number of actual investigations we've presented is because let's say that we have a chicken investigation in Germany, that was presented in Germany, but it also got media in Spain, it was presented in Spain, in Italy, and even in Mexico. So we had a total of 39 releases, investigation releases.
Nunes-Gao admits Animal Equality had only 13 actual investigations, yet she tripled the amount to 39 because she counted releases of the same campaign to different countries. That is not an honest claim. Animal Equality creates fantastically large numbers of viewership of their stories by counting every possible viewer of a TV station or subscriber to a newspaper. This is unscientific and inaccurate to the point of absurdity. But this consistent aggrandizing is the way Animal Equality operates. They call this reach. Animal Equality is so unashamedly brazen in their exaggerations that they actually claimed the following.
We had a reach of 1.5 billion with our media coverage just in the first 6 months of 2017.
1.5 billion people. That was so outrageous that even the host questioned it.
I'm just curious, what does the 1.5 billion refer to?
Yeah, that is reach. It is not a number of people directly, of course. Like we haven't reached. I wish like one out of 5 or a quarter of the world population. I wish.
Right there, Vaya admits that of course 1.5 billion people haven't seen their campaigns, but that didn't stop them from making the deceptive claim, one which would lead most people into believing they had. Ask yourself this. What is the point of claiming you have 39 campaigns when there were only 13? And why lead people to believe that 1.5 billion, or 20% of the entire human population on the planet Earth have seen your work, when we know that suggestion is blatantly ridiculous? In our opinion, this is about deceiving donors into thinking that Animal Equality has done more than they actually did. This is a serious issue, for donors may not be giving their money based on the truth, but based on false and misleading information. Now that we've shown you how deceptive Animal Equality has been with what they do, we need to talk about the serious questions dealing with the money they raise and how it is spent. Due to Animal Charity Evaluators' promotion, Animal Equality's fundraising soared from just under $10,000 in 2014 to an astonishing nearly $2 million in 2016, which is the latest information we have available. That dramatic turn of events raises questions unto itself, but the real concern was that, out of the nearly $1,200,000 Animal Equality spent in 2016, more than $851,000, or 70% of the total amount spent, was sent to foreign countries in both grants and to related organizations. This vast amount of money leaving the United States and being shipped elsewhere raised serious red flags with us, and so we reached out to Animal Equality's General Counsel and asked if they would tell us what happened to all that money. However, she declined to give us that information. We also asked the General Counsel if the U.S. Animal Equality was a direct control entity of the foreign branches of Animal Equality, and she replied, quote, "Each organization is its own entity incorporated independently in the local jurisdiction with a separate board and run by staff in that country. The U.S. organization is not a direct control entity. Hope that helps." The problem is, when we looked at the UK branch of Animal Equality, the only other animal equality group we could find tax forms for, we discovered that in fact it was the same people running both groups. Perhaps the General Counsel didn't know this when she gave us the wrong information, but if she didn't know, then that is disturbing as well. We have other concerns about how donor money is being spent. In the 2016 IRS tax form, it states that Animal Equality spent $27,353 on meals and entertainment. That's more than $500 a week supposedly being spent on business meal entertainment expenses, which is extraordinarily high for a relatively small organization such as Animal Equality was in 2016. We asked if they would have divulged specific details of how the more than $27,000 was spent and offer evidence that it was not used for personal expenses, but they have not responded to that request, just as they have refused to respond to other questions about how their money is being spent in other countries. What we do know is that Animal Equality appears to be doing little work in the U.S. and is instead transferring an overwhelming majority of the funds they spend to other people and groups in other countries with no public scrutiny or accountability. That Animal Equality has shown its willingness to put out deceptive information about its work only heightens our concerns about what has happened to all that money. And this is where it all comes back to animal charity evaluators. If it had any legitimacy at all, it would expose Animal Equality for its deception and warn people away from donating to them, but instead it did the opposite. It is our hope that some authority will investigate the issues we raised here and find out what has happened to all that money. Shark believes groups like Animal Equality and animal charity evaluators represent a danger to the animals because of deception and potential unethical acts. That is why we continue to speak out on these important issues. We offer to debate Animal Equality and animal charity evaluators on the issues we have raised here. For more information on nonprofit organizations engaging in deceptive, unethical, or questionable practices, please go to charitycops.com.